Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin and welcome to your latest Chelsea news. As you can see, there's a picture of Morgan Rogers. You must be thinking, really, now we're linked with Morgan Rogers. Look, fine player, but how do we fit all of this in? I'm not sure. But before we get to all of that, we're going to kick things off from here, ladies and gentlemen. Front of shirt sponsorship news, finally. DAMAC. I actually know this particular company because when I used to live in Abu Dhabi way back in time, DAMAC is a huge developing building company in UAE, along with Emma. Where, in recent times when I've gone to Dubai to watch the Club World Cup, where we won the Club World Cup, the last trophy that we've ever won. Emma was the other huge building company. So look, I don't know what to say about this. It's a top brand. Don't get me wrong. DAMAC is a huge brand in UAE in terms of building brand and property building and all of that. They're a huge company, but there's only 4 more matches to go. So I'm not sure what to say about this. And apparently they're only here for these 4 matches. They're not going to be here for the front of shirt sponsorship for the Club World Cup or the next season. So I don't know how much we're going to get for these 4 matches, but at least we've got something. But the bottom line is it's not a good look that we've gone the entire season, pretty much the entire season, without a front of shirt sponsorship. Yes, the Final 4, it's a very good brand from United Arab Emirates, but it's sad on top of the fact that we had similar issues last season as well, where the front of shirt sponsorship came quite late. This is the news, ladies and gentlemen. Major breaking news. DAMAC are Chelsea's front of shirt sponsor until the end of the season. DAMAC will also become Chelsea's official property development partner. New 1 billion development of Chelsea residencies in Dubai. So Chelsea obviously getting themselves involved in Dubai. DAMAC will not feature in Chelsea's Club World Cup campaign. Chelsea are still looking for a long-term front of shirt sponsor for 25-26 season, which includes the Club World Cup. So just only here for four games. That's it. So I'm not really, as I said, in one side, I'm very happy we got DAMAC and we finally got a front of shirt sponsorship. But on the other side, I'm like, it's just for 4 games. So look, that's how it's all going to look like with our jersey, with DAMAC sign right in front. DAMAC for the rest of the season. Talks are ongoing for separate sponsors for the Club World Cup and 25-26 Premier League, but some parties in the process are interested in both. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's see the billboard and all the lighting and all the work in Dubai. It looks pretty nice. They've got Cole Palmer's picture. I don't know whether this is just just an edit or this is really what's going to happen in Dubai in one of the buildings. It's apparently called Chelsea Residency. It's just Chelsea by the name. Chelsea are not owners of that property or anything. DAMAC at the end of the day are owners. But if Cole Palmer's picture goes up on the building like that, that's going to look sensational. We shall see. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in regards to DAMAC. I just thought that we'll bring that up. It is a breaking news, but honestly, there's only 4 matches that they're going to be front of shirt sponsors. So yeah, by the way, there's a cracking game going on. I know this is going to be after the game, but this Champions League game between Barcelona and Inter Milan is one of the honestly one of the all-timers. 3-3, and it's been spectacular. One thing's for certainty: if Arsenal somehow make it to the final, which I don't think they should, I hope they don't, they're not beating either of Barcelona or Inter Milan. Yeah, they might have defensive frailties, both of these teams. Not really Inter Milan. It's really because of Barcelona's crazy attack. But Arsenal won't be able to handle either of them. So I'm happy. I'm happy from that perspective. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty, as Eunice would say. Morgan Rogers, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on here? How come we're linked with Morgan Rogers? He's linked as a winger for us. From the bits and pieces that I've watched, and you guys can correct me in the comment section, I don't see him as a touchline winger, and that's pretty much what Mr. Maresca wants in his setup. Morgan Rogers for me is more of a half space player, but someone who's very good off the ball as well. Like he works hard defensively too. So you can pretty much say he works very well in the half space in both the boxes, to be honest, up and down. So he's robust, he's physical, he's fast, he's got technical ability, he can score goals. Of course, I mean, fantastic player to be linked with, but we don't really play with half space players. So once again, you have to question, where's this squad building coming from? Look, this link with Morgan Rogers is not too far-fetched. He's young. His wages are probably not that, exorbitant. Do you know what I mean? Like it could be affordable. So you can understand that this probably is not too much of a far-fetched link at all. Having said that, is Aston Villa going to get rid of someone like Morgan Rogers, who's a very important player for them? Probably not. Aston Villa showing ambition themselves. They're pushing for Champions League football again for next season. They made it to Champions League quarterfinals this season. They made it to FA Cup semi-finals this season. So this whole thing that we can just go out there and just grab someone from Aston Villa, I don't think it's that easy. If anything, Aston Villa are probably on a better trajectory, upward trajectory than us. I know they're behind us in the table at the moment, but their squad is probably far more suited to tackle in Europe as opposed to someone like us. So let's have a look at the news. Breaking: Chelsea appreciate Morgan Rogers and see him similar to Gittens. Similar to Gittens. I don't think he's similar to Gittens. Gittens is actually a more of a touchline winger. Morgan Rogers, I feel, he's more of a complete player than Gittens. Perfect age and skills. That's the thing, isn't it? Perfect age and skills, but price tag could be an issue. 100% price tag will be an issue. I don't think Aston Villa will just let go of Morgan Rogers that easily. Nico Williams is considered a dream target once again, and this is coming from Fabrizio Romano, by the way. So this is not some sort of Mickey Mouse journalist. Although I feel like Fabrizio Romano in recent times, I think he talks a bit of nonsense here and there, a bit of nonsense. This news started to materialize yesterday from a particular journalist. I think he's called Kieran Gill. And then now Fabrizio Romano is talking about it. So you got to take it somewhat seriously. Look, for me, Morgan Rogers is not really necessary unless you really want to change the way we play, change the philosophy. Maresca is looking to evolve, and you start playing with half space players. This is one of the reasons why someone like João Felix, for example, he's not part of Chelsea Football Club, because he's really a half space type of a player. And Nkunku is another one, half space type of player. These players don't seem to be needed. You have to change the dynamics of the midfield in order for you to fit in Morgan Rogers. The one player that you can probably say right now he kind of emulates in our current system is Cole Palmer. So I don't know whether you can really have Cole Palmer and Morgan Rogers in the same team the way we are playing right now, unless you change things around. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. And look at this. Nico Williams is considered a dream target. A lot of this is PR. A lot of this is 100% PR, ladies and gentlemen. Morgan Rogers, the money, the transfer fee is going to be quite substantial. And Nico Williams, we all know how much wages he wants. And in fact, here's the latest. Confidential understands Nico Williams representatives are demanding more than 400,000 a week for him, 400,000 pounds a week for him to move club this summer. That type of money we don't pay to no one. Players that have been around in our football club for a while, we don't even pay for them. This is why this whole Nico Williams, every time I see Chelsea getting linked and saying, oh, this is the dream target, who are you trying to fool? Why are you trying to do that? Why are you gaslighting the fan base? It's not nice. It's not healthy. 400,000, this is what this brother wants. Nico Williams, he's a good player, don't get me wrong. Still not a finished product, still got a bit to develop. But at 400,000, he better come to Chelsea Football Club and just light it up. 20 plus goals, 10 plus assists in the Premier League. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. That wage is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Chelsea and Liverpool consider Morgan Rogers a top winger. Fabrizio Romano saying that as well. Once again, winger. Not really sure he's out and out winger, but you guys let me know in the comment section what you think about that. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Real Madrid are interested in Enzo Fernandez, but Chelsea sources insist he's going nowhere. This is coming from Kieran Gill. He's the one who talked about Morgan Rogers initially, and now obviously Fabrizio Romano and everyone's coming to the game. Look, we've heard this rumor previously as well. In the past 3 months, this has materialized a few times. I think eventually, one day, Enzo Fernandez will be a Real Madrid player. Whether it happens now, I don't know. But if we are not a serious football club for much, for a few more seasons, players like Enzo Fernandez, players like Cole Palmer, they'll move on. They'll move on. Moses Caicedo, they'll move on because they are not going to be happy playing Conference League football at Chelsea Football Club, or even Europa League football for that matter. Champions League football, and actually be competitive, not just making up numbers in the Champions League. Be competitive in the Champions League, go to quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, win it. Premier League as well, win it. If these players soon, very, very soon, don't start seeing this, they'll move on. So for the time being, maybe he's not going to Real Madrid. But you best believe down the track, you're not going to be able to hold on to these players, regardless of how long their contract is. Once the player decides they don't want to stick around at a football club, believe me, they will find a way. The agents will find a way, they will find a way, and the club will have to submit. The club will still make money. They obviously they won't do any deal that's going to be disadvantageous to Chelsea Football Club. They'll definitely ensure that they're looked after, but the player will move on. So maybe this is not happening now, but it may happen down the track. Now check this out. This is the latest sensation, latest kid that we are very, very interested about. And once again, everyone keeps saying, here's one you don't want to miss, Miz. You don't want to miss out on this kid, just like all the other kids that we've bought that you don't want to miss out on. Estevao, you don't want to miss out on. Kendry Paez, you don't want to miss out on. And so many others that I've lost track of. This is the latest, but people are saying this is the real deal. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the real deal. So who is he? Chelsea and Manchester United are well informed on deal conditions for Franco Mustano. This particular player, ladies and gentlemen, there was a cracking free kick a couple of days ago. And overall, he seems like a very, very good player. I believe he's a midfielder. Correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section, but I believe he's sort of like a attacking midfielder kind of a player. And he's got a lot of technicality about him. Open race, so it's between Manchester United and Chelsea. Real Madrid are not progressing on current conditions of 34.8 million plus taxes. These are hefty prices for kids, man. Do you know what I mean? It's about convincing the player of your project and agreeing deal with his agents. Look, one thing we do is we can convince kids with our projects. That's one massive thing that we are very, very good at. Are we able to carry out that promise to show that this project is actually meaningful? Yeah, that's where the stumbling blocks are. We'll see what happens with Estevao if we can really, really develop him next season. Now, Mustano, Franco Mustano is the next, one that we're linked with. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, in the comment section, let me know. Is he the player that we simply cannot miss out on? Let me know. Last but not least, before I let you guys go, I do want to share that. I do want to share the channel that we are trying to promote, ladies and gentlemen. As soon as where is it? Where is our channel? There we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't subscribed, we want to try and get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And if you're a wrestling fan, obviously in that if all of that fits in your criteria, then please subscribe to All You Can Eat Wrestling. Eunice, myself, and Javon, we're kicking that off this week with SmackDown. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. You know, if you're over hearing a lot of football news and you want to sort of change a pattern, and you want to, you know, you're a wrestling fan, then getting on the act. All You Can Eat Wrestling, the handle is there. Subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. It will be much, much appreciated. We want to try and hit 1,000 ASAP. So look, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about, especially in regards to Front of Shirt sponsorship for 4 matches, Morgan Rogers, and the rest in the comment section. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Still 3-3, Barca 3, Inter Milan 3, and there's just only a handful of minutes to go. Until next time, everyone, take care. See ya.